Okay, good afternoon and welcome to this lecture of CAD/CAM. In last lecture, we were discussing about group technology, and we are continuing that part in this lecture also. So let me share the screen with you. Okay, can anyone tell me, is it visible to you? Is it visible? Just put a message in the chat box so that I can continue. Yes, okay, fine. Thank you, Pradyumna. So in last lecture, we were discussing about group technology. I had given one example how this group technology is used, and we have also discussed the definition of group technology also. So basically, we are making the families of components parts in the industry for the sake of ease of manufacturing. What happens with when we get ease of manufacturing? We can achieve our target as a industry or as an organization. Obviously, whenever you work for an organization or industry, the first objective is to make profit. Secondary objectives are there, but the first and primary objective is to make profit, make money. So if your manufacturing process is efficient enough, then certainly you are going to make the profit. Okay, so this is why it is important to consider or discuss on these techniques like group technology and other CAPP, whatever the parts are there, I'm going to teach you in this course. These are very important for the efficiency of manufacturing or the shop floor efficiency. In general, we call it as, right? So we have discussed about group technology definition in previous lecture, why it is important, that we have already discussed, how it affects on variety and volume, that we have already discussed, how to make a part of family. Okay, now what do we exactly get as a benefit in group technology or making the part families? So first of all, we can reduce or we can observe the reduction in throughput time, setup time, overdoing the orders, production floor space, raw material stocks, in process inventory, capital expenditures, tooling cost, engineering time and cost, new part design, new shop drawings, total number of drawings. These are the benefits of using group technology. Okay, if you could just go through these points, you will get to know, because all these parts or all these things you have already known. What is meant by setup time, what is meant by tooling cost, what is meant by engineering time and cost. Okay, so I expect that I hope that you know the all these parts and things, because these are just basics. Okay, so let me tell you one example. Setup time. The setup time is the time required for setting up the machine. Okay, so reduction in floor space. So if we apply group technology, what will happen? We can make the families of the products. So if they are in one family, we can just put them aside any in the inventory part or in another section. So production floor space requirement is reduced. In case of capital expenditure, so capital expenditure, it is some sort of commerce part is there. So whenever, if you are not using group technology, then you have to make expenditure on other things to improve the efficiency of the shop floor or the production system, right? So a reduction in capital expenditure is expected from group technology. New part design, new shop drawing, total number of drawings, these are also another examples. Okay, these are just parts that you have to write in exam, or you just got to know that what gets reduced. Okay, other benefits are it is easier to justify automation. Now these are the secondary benefits. Easier to justify automation. Now what is automation? Why it is required? Automation obviously increases the efficiency of the plant, right? Though it has a high initial cost, but it ultimately is going to make, if you are going to make your your shop floor or your industry an automated one, so obviously your production will increase, your quality of the product will increase, all other advantages are there. Okay, so if you want to apply automation in your industry or on your shop floor, then you can use this group technology technique. Then standardization in design data retrieval. So whenever you are going to design a new product, it is not like that ki, you have a product and for 30 years, 50 years, you are going to manufacture only one product. It is not like that. You have to change with time. So standardization is also required in case of design data, right? So standardization means you can get a standard data related to one parameter, say length. For a length purpose, you have the standard parameter, standard data, and that is stored in your library. Okay, so you can retrieve this standardized data from this library by using, yes, who's that? Okay, fine. Is there any problem? Okay. Then easier, more standardized process plans. Process plan, what is process plan, that I am going to tell you in next lecture. Just keep this in mind. Easier, more standardized process plans are, we can create process plans. Okay. And increase in quality, obviously you are going to make the increase in the quality because all other benefits are there. But it is not like that this particular group technology has only advantages, it also has disadvantages. Everything in this world has advantages and disadvantages. So as an engineer, as a production engineer, you must discuss about advantages as well as disadvantages or problems for implementing that technique or philosophy or method in your shop floor. Okay, so that this is how you go upstairs as a, from the supervisor level to the plant head level. Okay, so the first and the biggest problem is the identification of part families. How and who is going to make the identification? Okay, this is the biggest problem, because suppose if you make 10,000 different parts, if you are a big company and you are making 10,000 different parts. Okay, so reviewing all these parts and all the drawings and making the sheets and all these things will be a very substantial task. Okay, that is why it requires manpower, it requires everything you have to put in that. So what happens, the identification part is a very big problem if only you have very large number of different parts manufactured at your shop floor. If suppose you are manufacturing only 100, 200, 300 parts, then it is okay. You can just go on and go for a consultancy, or either you can go with your engineers from the shop floor or your industry. They can also perform this if they have the basic knowledge of group technology. Now, if now you are in final year, whenever you will pass out and you go in an industry for a job, you will find out that this group technology is used everywhere nowadays. Okay, then we have to rearrange production machines in the plant into the appropriate machine cells. What is a machine cell, that I will tell in later part. It is there is a diagrammatical representation of a machine cell, and you will get to know how this rearrangement of production machines. What are production machines? The lathe machine, milling machine, drilling machine, everything that you put into production part of your product, that is called as production machine. So you have to rearrange these machines according to the requirements. Okay, this is a problem actually, because suppose you have not applied the group technology already in your company, in your shop floor, and you are just manufacturing the part. Now you have to apply, then you have, sometimes it may require to rearrange your machines. So for that time, your machine will be in down condition. It will not be in production process. So these are the things that you must keep in mind while rearranging. So this is a problem, okay, and it takes time to plan and accomplish this arrangement, and the machines are not producing during the changeover. That is what I have just mentioned. Okay, now group technology affects to what? We just seen an example. If you want to apply group technology, you have to, if it is required to rearrange the material machine, then the machine will be stopped, machine in down condition. So no production is going out from the machine is idle. Okay, so what are the other things that group technology affects? It affects each and every part of the manufacturing process or an industry. What are those? It affects design engineering, it affects data processing, affects maintenance. You can see from this diagram, these are the parts from an industry which are affected with the group technology. Even cost accounting also get affected. You can see that engineering part is okay. You can relate with that. Engineering part is going to be affect. It is okay. Then how cost accounting and all these things, management and administration part is going to affect? Because if your industry is not producing good products, whatever it is, then obviously it is going to affect on this administration part, management part also. So this is how you have to relate with group technology and other parts of the industry. Purchase, planning, inventory, assembly, manufacturing, engineering, shipping, receiving, everything is going to be affected if you are going to apply group technology. But now, if whenever you apply group technology, this is the scenario before I am telling the before group technology, right? Now, if we apply group technology, then what will happen? All these parts which are shown in this diagram are going to be have a good effect if your group technology method or group technology technique you are applying, and obviously it has some advantages. So these advantages are also related with these all things: data processing, maintenance, planning, purchasing, estimating, everything. So basically what group technology does, it provides advantages in all areas of the industry, and ultimately what is going to happen? You are going to achieve your target or goal or objective, whatever you have set. That is, first is profit making, right? I hope you are understanding the thing. Okay, now there are techniques to perform the making the part families. There are three techniques. Let us discuss in brief. One is called as tacit judgment or visual inspection. A simple name, you can call it as a visual inspection. Okay, what do we use in that? We use photos or part prints, photos or images of the parts that you are going to manufacture. You manufacture in your industry, and photos or part prints, part drawings, you can use that. Okay, since it is a visual inspection, so you have to visualize everything. So for that reason, you need require photos and part prints. Okay, and it utilizes subjective judgment. Subjective and objective, two types of judgments are there. Objective means very specific, subjective means a broad sense has to be applied. Now one problem in this particular thing is that the person who is going to make this visual inspection must have the knowledge of everything in the industry. So you must have an experienced person to make the visual inspection. This is the problem associated with the visual inspection. It is quite simple. By doing visual inspection, you can do tacit judgment or visual inspection. Okay, it is very easy by using photos and part prints. But the person who is going to do that, he must have that qualities, that experience, right? So this is a you can call it as a problem or disadvantage. Okay. Now let us move to the next type, production flow analysis. Now it uses information contained on the root sheet. Therefore, only manufacturing information is discussed. In this part, production flow analysis, how the production is flowing from raw material to the final product, how it is going to flow, from which machine is going to pass, on which machine is going to go to the next part, next process. Like that we have to perform the analysis. Okay, but in this case what happens, you have to see only manufacturing information. There is no information regarding the shape, the size, the color, right? So this is called as second type, production flow analysis. Let's move to the next part. The third part is classification and coding. You can just classify the parts and give them code numbers, just like barcodes, right? You can use alphanumeric strings or alphabets and numbers together, or you can give numbers only, or you can give alphabets only. But it is now it is not like that you have to invent the coding system now, because already the work has been done and different types of coding systems are available with us, right? But you have to choose the appropriate coding system, and we are going to discuss one type of coding system, that is called as Opitz coding system. And it is most of the industries use this coding system because it is having different advantages. Okay, so these are the three steps or three classifications or three parts by which we are going to apply the group technology. Okay, let's remind again: the visual inspection, production flow analysis, and classification and coding. These are the three things you should keep in your mind. Okay, now coding and classification with coding has to be done with different characteristics, different things you must have in your mind. You must have the knowledge of this part, these things. What are those three facets or three things that you must know while doing the classification and coding the part? Okay, now why we are discussing coding the part? Because visual inspection is very basic type of inspection. In that we have seen that person who is experienced is going to visually inspect the component. In second system we have only manufacturing data or information available in the production flow system. And in third system we are using classification and coding, which is much easier and authentic, and there are we can say error occurring scenarios will be very less in this case. Okay, so that is why classification and coding system is maximum used in industry. Okay, now what are these three systems we are going to employ in this classification and coding? The first system is based on part design attributes, or just simply we can say it as design attributes. Design means the shape of the object, the appearance of the object, the outer part of the object, that we are going to consider in part design attributes. And there is second type of system which considers manufacturing attributes, as we have discussed in earlier part, production flow analysis. Okay, so what type of machining is going to be carried out in this on this particular product, that we have to have the knowledge of. Okay, and the third system, which is very crucial, which has design plus manufacturing attributes together. Okay, so there will be advantages, disadvantages of both all the three systems. Okay, in one first system only design attributes are going to be considered. In second system only manufacturing attributes are going to be considered. In third system we are going to integrate these both design and manufacturing attributes. So obviously this is the most useful system for coding and classification. I hope you are getting this clearly. Okay, Let me check. Just give me a second. Okay, 22 students are there. Fine. Okay, now what we are going to see in just okay, let it be. What are the parts? What are the things that we must discuss in design attribute? See, the basic external shape of the object, the basic internal shape of the object, like is it having a drilling or boring, or is it having internal threads, like that. Then in design attribute, again we have to see the materials also. Then we have to go for length and diameter ratio is a part of design attribute. Okay, then tolerance is again a design attribute, and measure dimensions is again a design attribute. Okay, now what are the manufacturing attributes? The major process. What are the major processes, like drilling, milling, uh, boring, whatever it is? So what are the major processes are there that we have to consider in manufacturing attributes? Then minor operations, though there will be some minor operations. Okay, so that we have to discuss. Then there are fixtures, jigs and fixture types needed, that is a part of manufacturing. Then there is surface finish. This has been thoda relocate झालेला आहे, so forgive me for that. Then there is fixture and surface finish. Machine tools, what are the machine tools, operation sequence, and tooling batch size. These are the manufacturing attributes. Okay, so design attributes and manufacturing attributes are like this. And the third part is design plus manufacturing, so you have to combine everything, so you are going to get everything. Okay, so this is how GT codes classification and coding system is to be considered. Now, there are different types of coding system, how the GT codes, group technology codes are given. So what are those? Let us discuss one by one. First is called as monocode, or it is also called as hierarchical structure. Monocode or hierarchical structure. In this case, what happens? It is a code in which each digit amplifies the information given in the previous digit. Suppose you have 5 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first digit, second, third, fourth, fifth. The fifth digit is amplified version of fourth digit. The fourth digit is amplified version of third digit. Like that, the amplified information is given to the next digit. Okay, this is called as monocode. Then there is polycode, or it is also called as chain type structure. What happens in this? Each digit is independent of all others and presents information which is not dependent on previous one. In monocode, what happens? Fifth number was related to fourth, fourth was related to third, third was related to second, second was related to first. But in polycode, there may or may not be maximum type. There is no link or chain between these two codes. Okay, each code or each digit rather is different, giving different independent information. Okay, so this is called as polycode. And the third type is called as mixed code, in which monocode and polycode are both utilized. So what we can say about mixed code? They have some digit forming monocodes, but strings them together in the general arrangement of the polycode. Okay, so this is how these sequence of numerical digits or coding major structures are classified: monocode, polycode, and mixed code. Okay, let's move further. Okay, this is an example. These are the 13 parts. If you consider or try to remember or relocate or try to see what are these components, it seems that they are the parts of a pump, water pump. Okay. Now these are 13 parts with similar manufacturing process requirement. If you carefully observe this, you find that the manufacturing process required for this particular, all these components is a same. What is that? It could be a casting process. Okay, so all these components are manufactured with the help of casting process, but they have different design attributes. Each and every item from this assembly or this area has different attributes, different shapes, size, length to diameter ratio, everything. Okay, so this is how we have to see for a, sorry, just a minute. Okay, the time is up, I think. So what we will do, I will stop here and we will move to the next part in the next lecture. Okay.